This is season 4 of Pod Practice with Mikey Lunn, Quinn Feiner, and Alex Atkins.
Check us out on YouTube and IG, Pod Practice _pod. Want to get in contact with us, most likely Mikey? Email show@podpracticepod.com.
Do you know what time is it? It's mojito time. Mojito time.
I'm in Nice with my best friend, Stefano. How does Booyah say it?
Stefano.
We're chit-chatting a little bit about my trip here with you and the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I think we get to bring up our bromance, but Mikey's my new best friend. We have so much in common, so many worlds that had like parallel movement, but we never really knew each other until I got to be on the pod at the start of the year.
9 months ago?
9 months ago.
I don't know.
And then since then, Mikey has turned his one-time European visit to a 4-time European visit in his life, 3 times this year.
And maybe something like 2 total months it will be.
Yeah, like a sixth of your year has been in Europe. It's very crazy.
That makes me feel bad because I've been trying to spend more time with my parents. And I was trying to how do I get a month of the year with my parents? Instead, I got 2 months with you.
Yeah, sorry, mom and dad. But I'll take it. I'll take the Mikey time for sure. Yeah.
So let me ask. So I want to ask you your thoughts on when we were on the plane flying to Nice from, or was it flying to Geneva?
Probably. Yeah, it was flying to Geneva. It was the long flight, the longer flight.
And we'll get into why I'm here in Europe in a second. But I told you that I didn't love when you introduced me as the pod practice guy, and you were very gracious when I said that. But what did you think when I said that?
Well, I thought you were fucked. You're like, I don't want to just be known for, being on this pod, and I thought you were like a little bit like, I don't know, demeaning of your own pod, and it's something that very traditionally happens with people when they put themselves out there and they're vulnerable and they're not sure where it's going and how it sticks with people. And I was like, dude, like everybody loves your pod. Like, there's people, especially here in Europe, like I can say you're the coach of Johnny Bravo, and yes, they will know Johnny Bravo, but they won't know like how Johnny Bravo's coached or how long you've been with Johnny or like even the style of play. Some of the mega nerds, of course, yes, they will. But like so many more people will know you from pod practice. So you kind of like said, I'd prefer if you didn't. And I was like, all right, I won't. Like, I'll respect your honor for sure, like, or your wishes for sure. But like, you should want me to to introduce you as the host of the pod practice, because a lot of European ultimate people like watch the pod practice, love the pod practice, love you, Quinn and Kins. And it's almost like they want like the validation. Like, is that him? Like, I feel like that's like more the case. Like, is this the guy? Am I seeing right? Is this the guy from pod practice? So I felt like, I thought I was like doing a service. Like, hey, this is Mikey from this wonderful podcast, the pod practice. And Mikey was just a little.
It's a funny topic because there's like all these deep-seated insecurities about. You mentioned like the vulnerabilities of things, like putting yourself out there on the internet. And like the original intent, we always kind of downplay it. I mentioned to you, I think Quinn, what did I say? Quinn always kind of like, when we're talking to potential sponsors, which maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but like we always kind of downplay what we're doing here. That we don't love. It's scary to say that we love it as much as we do, because when we put ourselves out there, it's like we're more ripe to be taken down or like put down. And I think that's a little bit scary, which I don't always vocalize, but I was thinking about that on the plane. Like when I say I'm a coach of Johnny Bravo and a national champion, I've won national championships at a bunch of different levels. Like, to me, that's like, people just respect that. And my identity is as a coach first, and it's like podcasting is becoming more and more important to me. But it's like kind of embarrassing too.
Yeah, but now this is the classic case of what insecurities do to people, where we care about what other people think, and we all know that we should stop giving a shit what anybody thinks. If it feels good, you got to do it. And like all your accomplishments for the national championships, selections on national teams, everything you've done as a coach and a player is all wonderful. But I know already the power of the internet and where we're at in the world right now. Like more people know you because of what you do with the pod practice, Mikey. I hate to say it. I mean, I love to say it, but I hate to say it based on the heels of this conversation.
Nobody introduces themselves to me and say, "Are you the coach of Johnny Bravo?" Like, nice to meet you.
Are you the coach of? Maybe they'll start saying, "Are you the coach of Czechia under 24? Are you the coach of Mooncatchers?"
Maybe.
So I don't know. I did agree with Mikey that I would not introduce him as the guy from the pod practice, but I might lie. I might have been lying, and I may well introduce him that way again.
Comment below. How should I be feeling about
Mikey of but yeah, that was an interesting chat. I was blown away a bit on the plane. I was like, obviously respect Mikey, but I think I gave him a little pep talk, perhaps, that you should want to be introduced as the pod practice guy because everybody loves the pod.
Enjoying the pod?
Buy us a cup of coffee at ko-fi.com/podpractice.
I have a bullet point written down about Quinn and Kins, and when you think about those, just because they're not here, and I want to include them, do you know how your impression of them and us has changed since we first met?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, Kins, I'll start because his is the easiest. I think, like, I thought of him as a villain straight up. And I think that's the first thing, like, the first chat
he reached out to you?
He reached out to me. He was the first from pod practice that reached out. He got in touch with me. It was like a question of super team and, hey, do you want to be on the pod? And, that turned into a phone call immediately. We had a great chat. And he's like, yeah, I want to be on Super Team. I was like, I'd love to have you on. I was like, hey, maybe Super Team could have a bad guy kind of thing. He's like, everybody thinks I'm a bad guy, man. I'm not a bad guy. And it's true, he's not. I mean, Kins has got an on-field presence where he's, got some of his inner angst comes out on the field for sure.
He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy on the field.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad guy, but it's his own fault.
I mean, it's like the Davide kind of thing. Like, everybody loves Davide for a chat. He's such a great guy. On the field, he gets over competitive. I mean, I think it's even worse with US Ultimate because trash talking is almost like something that's rewarded. It's like a skill who trash talks the best, and that helps people like fuel their ambitions to continue to trash talk. And Kins is obviously a good enough player who's got a good enough gift for gab who can dish it out. So he does. I think seeing him leave Johnny Bravo was a bit of a shock. I think it was a tough year for Kins, like missing Super Team, Tokai Super Team because of this injury like 2 days before. I mean, I could see the emotional side of Kins when he showed up at London Invite. Like,
he showed up a day late because he couldn't travel.
Yeah.
He hurt his knee. He needed Ellie and Levka's help to get on the train.
Yeah, and he was broken. Like, he showed up in tears. The poor guy I felt so bad for him. He did rally. He was a great teammate for everybody. He was a great sideline guy. I just felt for him. Like, I know how bad he wanted to be on that stage, and like, we had a great tournament, but who knows? Like, we lost one key game. Like, could Kins have been the difference? He very well could have. One game he could have changed by 2-point swing in the middle of a game. Very well could have. But I thought I felt bad for him. But I like to see when he did eventually move out of Denver and went back to his hometown. Like, I love to see the rise of the Pac-Man and his impact on that team. He had a lot of turnovers, but I think like he's just a straight shooter. Like, and he did definitely lift the level of Pac-Man by going over there and being like, that third wheel to their top three with the Grossbergs. I thought that, I was happy to see. And I think like he's got a lot of things cooking, which is what I really learned about Kins is his ambition is, he wants to be the best in every sense. He wants to be the best podcast. But mostly he just wants to be the best player. And you can't fault people for that.
He works harder than anybody else.
Yeah. With Quinn, he did play London Invite. I think like he struggled to fit in for the first two games, which was like shocking. I think there was moments where there was like plays I've seen him make on streams where he was unable to make in the Germany game and maybe that first game against Canada under 24. But in our biggest game, I thought Quinn rose to the occasion the best in that final, I call it, but the showcase game against Team USA World Games. Quinn stepped up big time, caught the game-winning goal, but was like very impactful, played really well with Dameron and Manu, and was just a great timing player is what I thought. Like, because of the way Dameron and Manu were dominating the backfield and getting so many touches with like jab step cuts and, the cuts that would essentially cut off a lot of in cuts coming into lanes. I thought Quinn did a really good job with his timing. And had major impact on our ability to win that game. Quinn's more of a sweetie, I think. He's just big love, kind-hearted. He shows that even when he's competitive and when he's on the sideline. We had a lot of chats about tattoos, which I really enjoyed with Quinn. Loved meeting Devin. She was super cool. We got to chow down on burgers in Denver. It was really nice to see Quinn at US Open. That's kind of where his hammy kind of gave way on him.
That's where his season ended, basically.
Yeah, so that was tough for him. It was good to see him come back for nationals. I thought he played pretty well. I think I only saw like 2 Bravo games, but I thought he seemed to be moving well.
He was okay, 75% maybe.
Yeah, he hung him up once. The final placing game was set, and it wasn't a semi. Which was, I think, pretty fair, to himself and to the team. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Quinn again. Like he was invited to CFC. I think he was just amidst some occupational change at the stage. He's like, I'm not sure.
He just got a job, everybody.
Yeah, Quinn, new job. So I would have loved to have him on the beach, but
I think now we'll be able to bring him out to Kaimana.
Yeah,
which you'll be at.
Yeah, Alti TV will be at Kaimana this year, so Kaimana is taking big steps as well, and I'm super excited to go with, what's your team name called?
Benson, I'm sorry.
Benson's team name, something Kapuni or something.
I don't know.
Awana Kapuni.
I'll dub it in.
Yeah, we'll dub it in here. Name of...
I'm mouthing it.
So... I talked to Ben. I get to meet Benson this year because of you guys. It was really cool. I met him originally at US Open, and now I've seen him at least 3 tournaments, 3, maybe 4. And I think Benson and I have a lot of similarities in what we're chasing and how we
want to see the sport grow, and how I think you see the need for change or a way of evolution and are trying to drive it yourselves and not just waiting for it to happen and telling other people what you think should happen.
Yeah. So it was great to meet Benson and now, to this Benson team that's in Kaimana, I get to kind of connect with. We'll likely do some more collaborating there with drone stuff and stream stuff and post-production stuff. And really just trying to draw more eyes to the sport more frequently is really the name of the game. So I think kindred spirit with Benson, and that was really cool to meet and repeatedly connect with him over the course of this year. I think it was an offshoot of me being on the pod essentially as well.
Yeah, gosh, the branches from meeting you and meeting Benson. Well, I've known Benson for a little bit longer. I want to get into that a little bit more in a second because it is extensive on as far as all the opportunities that I've had and that you've had as well. I want to stay on Kins and Quinn just for a second because I might as well use this opportunity to to express my love for those two as well.
Yeah.
Because it's nice when they're not here to be able to think about it. Honestly, doing it off the dome is not going to do it justice. Like, I would love to write this down. I've thought about writing it down, actually, because there have been various moments where I was like, the podcast is too much work. Like, it just has to end. And I thought, like, if it were to end, I would want to express my gratitude towards them. Whenever I talk about them with you and other people, and they know this too, like, it's usually like, those guys are just a pain in my ass. They don't do enough, but really they do a ton. And thinking about vulnerabilities that we were, touching on earlier, like, when we started this, we were winners. We had just won a national championship, and we had as much credibility as, well, maybe we have more now in some ways, but it's like, these guys are top dogs, and they continue to be consensus 2 of the top 10 best players in the world for like a 2-season stretch. Although, Kins wasn't making national teams, in my opinion, that's bullshit, but it's, whatever. I don't need, that's been hashed out a million times. He has some things that he knows. I tell him these things that he should work on if he wants to be on those teams. But like, since then, they've had this falter a little bit of, like, we haven't been winning as much. They've both had significant injuries that have kept them out, and it's like, you're not in the spotlight anymore. And then all of a sudden they are, I think, going back to the not being wanted to be introduced as a pod practice guy. It's like, wait, like, they're both in their minds, like, we are 2 of the best players in the world. Like, at that time, like 25 and under, like, they're, I think Kins, by the way, just had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, kids.
But he might be, I don't know if he's 26 or 27 now.
Spring chicken, any way you look at it.
Yeah, by our standards.
Yeah.
I think it's been tough for them to not, it's just a weird trajectory. Like, you hear about celebrities going through shit like this, where they're young and famous, and then they deal with turmoil. This is a much, much different scale. But when I think about young people in the sport, in frisbee, or, yeah, I mean, I'll just stick to that because that's our realm. And like, we hear the gossip when we hang out, and we hang out with a bunch of really good young players at these cool tournaments that you put on, with the cool teams you put on. And just hearing about the things they go through, it's like, it's very relatable, but also it's like, I want to just tell them all, like, it'll be okay. Like, you just have to wait. Like, you're experiencing this for the first or second time. It seems like such a big deal right now. Sometimes it's like teammate related, interpersonal dynamics. Sometimes it's romance. Sometimes it's like, I haven't won, or I need to win, or like, in the case of like, well, the U.S. mixed team faltering early, or even like Megan's team, she played women's masters. Like, who else I've talked to Cody Mills recently. I've talked to other people that just haven't won the final game. And as someone, like, there is not a bigger frisbee nerd than me on the planet. Like, you and me are probably
we're right up there.
We're 99s in the frisbee nerd. When I look at someone like, maybe Kayla's a bad example. She was just the first person that popped in my head that we had on the LTTV team this past weekend. Or maybe thinking about like Aurora and Christina, who were just on, help me.
Groot.
Yes. I'll just say Groot. Groot.
Amsterdam women's.
They did win, although Christina wasn't on the team that won. But they faltered in quarters at European championships. There's just so many instances of this happening. And when I look at them, I'm like, none of that defines you to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because like you're only as good as your last game is kind of like a saying that is like reigns true in sport, in every sport, in professional realms where like, like you were last year's winner, you were 2 years ago winner. Like to be a former champion is like, that's permanent, by the way. Like once you win, you win. But also like, there's people who are doing it way tougher, and like you talk about national teams and places of origin, and there's just so much that goes into it. And I think players like really feel the pressure. And I think what is so unique about Ultimate is because it is still such a amateur sport. Like nobody's getting paid. Like there's a couple people get a couple T-shirts or whatever, a flight paid for here and there. There's the mildest injection of financing or reward into the sport, but the media, the way the media portrays the sport, is still like very scrutinizing and like does point the fingers and does play the comparison game, and all these athletes are subject to hearing about themselves, and like it sticks, like because even before the days of any media attention, like I remember throwing away turfing a disc in a championship game in 2013 and BPL, and like that stain like remains in my brain forever. Like if that stain is like blown up, and then people in the next community here and the next community there, when I see that, we saw you fucked that game or whatever, like it does insist a lasting impression. But this is like, you talk about mental strength and this and that, like in a game, there's so much more outside of the game that you need to say, like, be able to dismiss this stuff, stop caring about what people say, so that you can like maintain your level of confidence and still be that great player that you are, regardless of your last game.
Hey Quinn, do you think every frisbee player needs a pair of cleats?
Everybody does need a pair of cleats for sure.
Why not? Why not have an ultimate specific cleat?
Yeah, that'd be crazy to use a cleat that's designed for your sport. I don't know why you'd do that.
Ingenious. Yeah, and stay tuned for the new Pod Ones. We're shooting for 2035. I don't know. But support Tokai Ultimate, and you can support the pod by using our referral link, tokai-ultimate.com/pod practice. I'll wrap up a couple thoughts. We'll get to maybe we'll get to Lanzarote and why we're talking about these people.
Yeah.
So I'll wrap up my Quinn and Kin's thoughts just really quickly, and that is I'm very proud of both of them. I guess I can say I'm proud of both of you, and I'm glad that we did start this together early 2023. It really has been, aside from being part of the honestly, it's Mama Bird, then maybe might be Pod before Bravo. I'm not sure, but Mama Bird's just always the top because it's the.
Well, I think you guys should all be proud of yourselves, Mikey. I think like I have heard your perspective on Quinn and Kins in both realms where, yeah, sure, sometimes I wish they would do more work and this and that. But I've heard you sing their praises so many times. And, I think that's why the pod practice is so well received, because it is so from the heart. Like you guys aren't trying to pretend you're something you're not. Yeah, you started as champions and that might have put the wind in the sails. You got in at the right time, but like, it's not like people are like, oh, I'm not going to watch these guys anymore because they're not at the top. You're still recognized as those same champions that are going through the same experience as everybody else in Ultimate, trying to be at the best, trying to be at the top. There's only one team, one can be at the top every year. And there's so many good players right now. So many good teams, so many good coaches, networks, all this clubs. And I think that's why it works. So like, I think you guys keep up the good work is my easy way of saying it. Stay professional, get more money behind this, be insistent, be demanding when we're talking with sponsors, potential sponsors, growth, gain, but back yourselves and go into these things the same way you prepare to play Ultimate. And
it's another area of growth for the sport, to be honest. It's not just on the field stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the media scope of the sport is better because of the pod practice. I think it is better because of Ulti TVs, because of Ulti Worlds, because of Excel Ultimates. Like, I mean, you can list off the people who are doing great things in the sport, and it is so good for it. All ships rise with the tide.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. So yeah, good on Quinn and Kins who are not here. Good on Mikey who is here in Nice and doing all things frisbee and having one hell of an ultimate year.
In the States, it was just Thanksgiving, and I think we're moving into the holiday season. So I guess in the spirit of that, thanks to all people in frisbee who are putting themselves out there in a vulnerable way. So I think some of your shit sucks. I'll be honest. Some of it's really good, but I think it's all really important that you're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, you always suck at the start. I mean, sometimes it takes the suck a lot longer to unsuck.
Well, I think sometimes it's just the way you do it. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta keep throwing shit to the wall and see what sticks, and eventually it's gonna stop sucking, or maybe eventually you'll quit. But it's always worthy of putting it out there if that thought exists somewhere in the back of the head.
Okay, we'll jump into one more thing about end of year themes. Start sending us in if we were like one of your most listened to podcasts. Send it to Stef too. Well, not that you listen to Pod Practice a lot, but send that to us over the next month because we will do our. Once I get back to the States, I'm sure I'll do the end of year recap with Kins and Quinn.
Yeah.
But okay, we can jump now. Segue to
WBUC
a little bit, which I don't have a ton to say about.
I mean, you showed up for Quarters Day or Semi's Day? Quarters Day.
Quarters Day. Yeah. I left the
Mikey showed up for my birthday.
I showed up for Stef's birthday on November 20th.
Yeah, which was super fun little interlude.
2 days after my birthday.
Yeah, 2 days after my and Elliot Bonet and who's your other birthday partner?
Was there another one?
Oh, Becky Thompson from the broadcast.
Wait,
yeah,
she's also the 18th.
Yeah, and her sister Helen Thompson, her twin sister.
She and I bonded over that, and I forgot.
Yeah, well, we were out at the bar singing karaoke, but it was nice. Most players, most staff had pretty quiet weeks because it's a big, demanding. Just turning my ringer off there. Sorry about that. Big, demanding week. Everybody waking up early, long days. But I put out the word and I was like, hey guys, if any of you are already eliminated, if anyone just come out for one single drink, and to the broadcast team, like shout out Charlie Eisenhood, like
Charlie,
because he steers the ship and he's got a big team, but he was like, yeah, we're going out for Steph's birthday. Everybody, this is Steph's birthday plans. And, we didn't get totally plastered, but I mean, I snuck out of there because I was on my way to getting, people were buying me drinks all over the place. Good karaoke night. The Ulti World crew, which a lot of them are Ulti TV crew.
Would be, is Charlie Eisenhood a fun guy or not?
I know my answer.
I know my answer.
But yeah, that's a good poll question. We'll check that one up there. But he was that weekend or that week. I'm spoiling it. He's fun. I love Charlie. He works hard and plays hard. Like when Charlie does let loose, he goes and has a good one. And he came out. He was kind of a little bit timid before he got on the mic, and I was like, "What's your song, Charlie?" And he's like, I would do Santeria by Sublime. And so I kind of went and stole the mic, set it up. Charlie, I said, get over here. And then I think from then on, he was in the middle of the dance floor and the microphone karaokeing.
What else about the tournament? Do you want to talk?
So the real tournament, I mean, do we talk the big storylines? Like, okay, weather was atrocious for a day and a half and then absolutely gorgeous for 5.5 days. Like, couldn't have been better. Best venue for a large beach tournament in existence. I think they should do what USA Ultimate do with San Diego and just book it there forever, because that boardwalk on the bottom with all those bars that are so accommodating, you go in with a whole team, 3-4 teams can fit in each one of those. And, there was 136 teams there and everybody could go out, get dinner. It was not too difficult to get bookings. So the venue was awesome. I love the arena the grandstand was.
That was nice. I like that.
Was nice. It was like
the security around it was what the heck?
Yeah,
They didn't want us to walk in the most sensible place to walk.
Yeah, I know. It's, I wondered who gave those instructions, but I
That was
wasn't there
annoying.
to resist security. I've failed doing that before and learned lessons.
Over here at Pod Practice, we are excited to announce that we are partnering with Greatest Bag to provide you with all of your ultimate bag needs. If you're looking to get a new ultimate bag, head on over to greatestbag.com. And if you use code PodPractice10, you will receive 10% off your purchase.
Italy, USA mixed were probably weirdly
Out early.
Yeah, out early, which is like weirdly like the biggest story. Like the champions weren't even the biggest story almost in some situations because of
Who won? Oh, Germany.
Germany, which was like
I
German.
know. I should know that. I was with Levka.
Mikey got a memorial, or not a memorial, but a celebratory
Honestly,
Volchak jersey.
Ellie was selling Levka's jerseys as a fundraiser. And it's sort of like when Megan asked me to buy Fury merchandise. Like, I guess I don't have a choice.
Mikey can't say no. He loves the people too much.
So, yeah.
Mikey Love, by the way, is Mikey's new nickname. We might get to that when we get to Lanzarote. But, yeah, so USA, Benji at CFC in the final. Connor Bellfield's first touch was like, Connor Belfield from the worst team in U.S. history or something like this, which is true.
But too savage.
It was savage. Benji was shooting firing lasers in that final. But tough for the U.S. I mean, losing to Germany in quarters was unexpected. Germany, they lost to India and somebody else. USA mixed lost 3 games, twice to Canada and once to Germany, which is kind of unheard of. I will say losing Simon Higgins was horrible for them. He was their best O-line player, I thought, up until that point. I'd watched 2 or 3 of their games.
A third of the field on the first pass.
Yeah, so that was, and I love Simon Higgins now after having a week to hang out with him. I've always loved him as a player, but now I know him as a person too. But boy, that hurt, losing him. I mean, there's been talk about organization and coaching not being quite where the team thought it should have been. There's talk about selection, but a lot of people don't know, myself included, who was cut and who was taken in place of. There's obviously American players sitting at home that you would have been like, why didn't we have them or them or them? It's like, well, maybe they didn't put their hand up. Straight away, it's like Kins should have been on this team, but he didn't put his hand up.
He didn't try out.
Yeah, there's so many reasons, but okay. So that was one of the storylines. Italy mismanaged use of talent. A universe point game in a pre-quarter where they received the pull. They have 3 of the best offensive weapons in the game that didn't play, which I thought that was
Carmen was not on that line.
No Carmen, no Barzazzi, no
the
Scazzieri.
European Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, runner-up, but could have been.
Well, she was runner-up?
Yeah, Schall won it.
She was Player of the Year. So I thought Carmen was Offensive Player of the Year.
Did she win? Then maybe it's true. Maybe you're right. Okay, Carmen did win. I got to go back and look at these words. I helped voting on these.
Charlotte
won the Player of the Year. But who was the runner-up of Player of the Year? I thought that might have been Carmen, and then she won offense, because that's what happened in the open division. Was Conrad Schlor was runner-up Player of the Year and then won Offensive Player of the Year as well. Anyway, it was one of the best there, not on. That Barzazzi was Offensive Player of the Year runner-up, not on the line. So these things were being discussed amongst the press big time. The press, Alti-World commentating crew. But then big shouts out to Australia, who had a crazy run. Perplexing. India beat Germany, Australia, and Czech, who were gold, silver, and bronze, and they finished. But I don't know,
I didn't watch any of their games, but I heard that their top male matching player is incredible.
Yeah, number 18. I forget his name, but he was awesome. Switch over to the women's division. There's only one storyline, which was the stall out. I don't
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think, we Deep Look talked about it. We chatted a bit about it on the Shot for Goal pod. It's been blown up, but essentially, USA called a stall out after France scored and were celebrating. It came back.
There's one thing.
It was not dealt with properly.
So when I listened to Deep Look at the airport the other day, Keith said, and I liked this. I haven't seen the social media, but he said France had an opportunity to like be very gracious and be supported, basically, and the aftermath and the response on social media, which I have not seen, is kind of flipped that.
Yeah.
And now people are villainizing them.
Yeah, exactly. They could have taken the high road, been the class act, the tough loss, the people's choice, and they have really turned that around.
Pretty bad. I haven't.
It's pretty bad. I mean, posing with homemade gold medals and tagging.
Why not homemade silver medals?
Yeah, well, they got those issued by the WUFTA. Oh no, they didn't. They got bronzes.
Well, I mean,
but yeah, that's another thing we talk about is like it's a big diss to the Dutch women for them to say we would have automatically won gold because USA won gold. Like that's not how this. We all know that's not how it works. Like one round to the next, and so anyways, they did kind of, I think, villainize themselves in the end by overcooking it, like showing your emotions.
You know what's too bad about that to me? Because there's always nuance in everything, and maybe like some of the U.S. players feel differently than others, and same thing with the French women. Like, if either is fully vilified, like I just never think that's the right thing, and I hate that. So, I mean, my thoughts like I'm sure some of the French, there might be some individuals that did something on social media that is like calling someone a cheater or something, but it doesn't mean that the whole team is that way. And it bums me out. It really bums me out because, I was showing you a message someone showed me or sent me earlier. It's like, well, fucking have a conversation with people. Like, if you have a problem with someone, just talk to them.
Get on the horn. People hiding behind keyboards and bullshit.
It's so much more, and it's also very it's rewarding and fulfilling to have a conversation with someone and to make them feel comfortable and heard, and then it just goes both ways. Like, it's a tangent, but I really believe it's
a worthy tangent. It's true. They're like these keyboard warriors or whatever the hell they're called, but people it's so easy for them to hide behind and post some shit. But we'll walk past that same person and do nothing.
This is why, to me, another reason why the championship is really nice, especially to validate all the hard work that you've put in. It doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. This has like been my theme of 2025. Starting with like seeing my birdies lose in finals of college, U.S. college nationals is like, it is simultaneously the most important thing and the least important thing. And I talking to Dozer from Fury a lot in Lanzarote, which we haven't gotten to yet, but it's like she plays for Fury, and Fury wins a lot of championships, but what she describes the Fury program as is like that's like the last thing that matters to them. You say that out loud, and sure, like in some moments it's probably the most important thing. To some individuals, that might be why they join the team or care about. But like overall, the ecosystem, what I think of that Maddie helped foster, but also many cultural architects over the years, many great players and Hall of Famers. The best program in Frisbee history, by the way, is a women's program, which I'll also underscore because, like, I don't know, like 90% of the listeners here are males. Fury is that, and like that is what people should give a shit about. It's all the time you spend together and the relationships you build and the pursuit of greatness. That's so much more important than the actual stamp on it. But I'm sure everybody would prefer to have the gold medal in the end.
I mean, especially in hindsight, people count rings, right? Like the
Hindsight of whose hindsight?
I mean, again, it's where is the sport going to go? Exactly. The comparison is the thief of joy always, but it is what people do love to it is really what the discussion becomes, and
I think it's
where there's like
important to
money
have
in the sport as well.
I think it's
like,
important to have the discussion and important for people in the media to talk about important. But I think more people should talk about the other stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you should, as a journalist, not you, the general you, should investigate the relationships and like the way the bonds. Like, I would love. We've been talking about this year, and this is something that Benson wants to do. Is for lack of a better word, like the skateboard video or the snowboarding video of frisbee. And I was like thinking about like watching Booja and Elliot together, just being little bros together in Lanzarote and at CFC. And like, dude, these fuckers they were competing together at World Games. And then they're also like best buds. Like, that
doesn't exist in a lot of sports.
No, like
until retirement, maybe.
It was just blowing my mind. Like,
because they were like besties.
You don't see that. And like, to be able like to pull back the curtain as a viewer, I think that'd be so cool to be able to show people. And I was like, I should have really probably brought out the cameras.
Well, I mean, there's some camera footage. We could probably like roll out our WhatsApp chat history.
Well, I don't know if those are shareable, but I mean, my point is though, I don't care about how many championships you won, even though it's real. That's probably what makes.
That's what like Hall of Fame stuff.
That's what's going to draw you. I want to talk to you as championship winners because it's more likely you have something really interesting to share and teach about how did you get there.
Yeah,
but I don't care about the fucking Hall of Fame.
I mean, I do a little bit. I do, but I think like there's so much of winning that comes from losing. Like, you have to be a good loser to be able to get on teams and to be able to provide and to be able to be in a place to win. And I think there is something special about your perseverance and your resilience that, like, if you do, like, the people who stick with it the longest and the hardest, yeah, there is some stat lines are a bit more mind-blowing where like somebody was just so good, they were on so many winning teams. How the hell did that happen? They never had to deal with losing, but that not never. Everyone's had to deal with losing. But I think there is something special about that ability to win. But what I think is worse is the demeaning of the people who were unable to, like, again, like pro sports comparison, like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, like, seeing Shaq and Chuck on every time an argument goes askew,
they're like, well,
it's like, well, you don't have a ring, Chuck. And I think that the negative, the negation of it is what I dislike. But I don't mind the rewarding and the promotion of the championship.
Yeah, you're right.
But they come part and parcel.
I don't mind the rewarding of it. I just wish that people, in all senses, not just championship winning, like they just dig past the surface and just.
I mean, the one good thing about losing is it keeps people in the sport longer. People like, one more year, I got one more shot. I got it. Next year's my year. Next year's our year. So that's like the one thing like I do think is great about like getting close and missing out is that some great players stay in the sport even longer and push, even further to reach that pinnacle. I mean, that's why everybody puts in the hard yards. Like, it is that glory. Like, what do you love? I remember talking to Tim Schock about this. Like, the best thing in the world for people like us is winning a championship. Like, the good times, the extra hugs, the smiles, the drinks afterwards, they just like do feel better. Not like our drinks were bad after getting a quarterfinal ousting in Lanzarote. Like, we had a great time. But I do think that like there is just like this little qualm, this little extra that comes with winning that really does, like, the bonds are strengthened. There's just a bit more that goes with it.
So I'll push back. I'll disagree a little bit. I think you're right, especially in the moment. Like, if we had won the tournament, CFC.
You're push in. You're almost out of the camera here, Mikey.
I'm on that one.
You're still like flying out. Stay in. Stay tightish.
Okay, I'm here. I'll make sure I'm angry.
Yeah.
It is more fun like that party, but in my opinion, that is oft an indicator that you weren't doing steps 1 through 9 well enough. That step 10 is to win. But, and this is the debate that Dozer and I were having a little bit. So we were talking about like the extreme ends of like, so Fury, if Fury's here, and Fury is, you're always bought into everything. You go to everything. It's like there's no real remote players, because any remote player has this strict set of commitment levels or commitment requirements. So they basically have to be there or be able to be there enough to be, which is like 3 out of 4 practice weekends a month. So that's like that end. And then there's like the other end, which I don't know if it's fair to say, like the first teams that come to mind are like Machine, Boston this year. Like there's other teams that, Molly Brown, who's local to me. There's just, I don't know what the best example of that type of team is, but it's like where they bring in players, they kind of let them do whatever they want. In my opinion, both can be very fulfilling and rewarding, and you can get so much meaning out of that. And I think that's something that Dozer doesn't fully understand. What I'm happy with, she's open to the idea that she just doesn't understand it, even though she also continues to not understand it. I hope that's fair to say. My point is that like what Fury does so well means that they can lose a championship game. They can go 29-0 and then fall to 29-1 in the end and be as happy as they were. I mean, it's debatable. It's debatable, right? Because they also win all the time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like the bonds that they have, again, I'm an outsider, I think is what makes their program so great. They also have 13 titles or whatever it is.
I'm going to give my last percent. As happy as they were is not as happy as they could have been or would have been had they won that game. They would have been happier. I think if you're not getting steps 1 through 9 right, then step 10 doesn't matter. But if you do get steps 1 through 9 right, like why should you not have that extra celebration for getting steps 1 through 9 right and having like the pinnacle, the peak? And then my final is like the ingredients of 1 through 9 can be different. And I think
it can be for sure.
I think again, like you talking with, having both Connor, who's a Clapham guy around, and Dozer, who's a Fury person, who are both clubs that are so fixed on like, being insular, having everybody fully bought in, every training being local, being there. That to them, that's the only way, and that's the better way, and that's the more fulfilling way. Like, but I don't believe that. Like, I think
you better way.
You can fall. Like, nobody's breaking rules here. You can fly people in if they can only be there for part.
I mean, that's not even. I don't even think it's that. You don't even have to mention that part, because that's not that has no bearing on fulfillment. I think it can still be fulfilling if people are not there. It doesn't matter about rules or anything.
Yeah. So. But it does matter, like, their perception. Like, Dozer would surely never play for a team like Brute Squad. Connor would surely never play for a team like Mooncatchers.
Well, that's not true.
Well, you said, but based on the way they speak about doing it, they were like
with Clapham.
Here, okay, I could throw Connor under the bus here, but I was chatting to him about like. I love Josh Shields. He's one of my favorite little nuggets in the world, but like he's not the best player on Clapham. He brings a lot, great sideline guy, shows up to training. But I'm talking to Connor. I was like, why don't you just pick up some Yanks next year? Like, and this was before Nationals. I was like, and so Joe White comes up. He's injured. He's coming back. Who knows? But I was like, because I've taken Joe White for European team. I was like, so you're telling me if Joe White put his hand up, came to you and said, I want to play for Clapham next year, I can maybe come over for one tournament and then Worlds, you would take Josh Eels over Joe White. And, I've turned this back on him a couple of times, but like, this guy says he'd take Josh Eels over Joe White. But in that context, he said yes. And to me, like, that just
No, I respect that.
you're just
What
not giving yourself the best chance to win.
See, that's what you're too focused on winning stuff.
But what is the name of the game when you guys start at the beginning? Like
Well,
you want to like start your season on, hey guys, let's build a great culture.
Yes.
But why do you build the great culture?
It's not about winning all the time. See, I think we are actually very dissimilar in this way because you have not had enough meaningful experiences in your life, it seems like, which is not true because you have. But sorry, that came out terribly.
It's fine, Mike.
But so okay, what I meant about Connor is he's. I really respect the way Clapham does it for Clapham. It's not how necessarily I think everybody should do it, but what I was joking about is he's played for Machine as a mercenary, he's played for Goat as a mercenary. So like Goat, he was there. I mean, technically he probably lived in both places, but it's a lend.
Right.
He was a loner.
Yeah. A semi-committed integration.
But yeah, I think this fixation on winning is not that's not it. It's not it. I
understand. Like, I think I get that. Like, an over focus and an over pursuit on winning is the unhealthy way. But and it is great to make your team culture or your team concept about building this strong, healthy, harmonious culture. And I thought, like, anything I ever add to a team is not tactical. It's not strategic. It is about having people all being on the same page. I like to be.
That's like one reason why you're able to bring teams together quickly and like. By the way, we haven't been winning, but
this is my worst year ever. Really.
But we have had these bonds that like are tighter than the ones a lot of them are tighter now than the ones I have with Bravo players, which is like, what the fuck? Like I spend so much time with those guys, but it's usually just at practice or like at workouts.
But okay, so just for me to finish my point is I like to be a purveyor of harmony so that we have the chance to win. When we don't, it's not a failure. It's not the end of the world. And I think because there's good culture, but like to say that it's not for the potential to win, the chance to win is like, to me, that like then you're playing sport for the wrong reason, which is fucked because you should play sport for happiness and for friendship. But like there is like at the end of the game, there's a winner and a loser based on the score. And like, you play. You gotta play to win.
Let me ask more questions about that. This is good because it is technically my podcast, and I should be interviewing you. Oh, yeah. So I have some questions.
Bullshit.
What? Okay. Like the tournaments that I guess at London, we weren't partying until we were. Yeah. But like what? So what you bring to a team when you talk about like winning is the goal, the center of everything, that all decisions we are making are towards that. Then why aren't we doing other things?
I mean, why aren't we doing other things?
Like we don't here at CFC like at expense of what? At expense of partying.
We didn't warm up.
At expense,
we didn't really.
We had no tactics or strategy, which is fine. I don't mind.
We had Malika calling lines, and there's like a tiny bit, but we didn't really discuss like our style of play, and like
there was. You did mention some things like let's try to play boring offense.
Yeah, boring is scoring.
But like, what does that really mean?
Exactly, like
and that means different things to different people.
Yeah, versus London Invite, we had a bit more structure, a lot more laid out. We were definitely like going to bed early until we were out. Even Ulti TV team at JK Bo, you weren't there, but we had a men's team, and we were having fun. And then it was like the last night we had a semi in the morning. I was like, guys, you do what you want, but we got a big game. Lanzarote, I mean, they're all different. Lanzarote was like, hey guys, I'm making this team so good so that we can party our brains out and still be able to wake up and do this. And we missed. But I think there's like different constructions for different scenarios, is how it goes. But yes, why, if winning is the most important, why is that? Why am I not taking all the exact same steps in each scenario? It's a good question. I think my answer is that I guess there's other elements of winning that, winning, like this tournament I put in the group chat, like I want to win everything. Like,
Yeah, you
and
did.
we want to win.
Yeah, you did.
We want to win spirit. And I thought we did really good despite fresh lobsters giving us a perplexing low spirit score that I'm not upset about at all. And we want to win the party. I want to be out late, win the party, and I want to be good enough to do that, and still have enough legs and enough talent to wake up in the morning, play 1 out of every 3 points instead of 1 out of every 2, or 1 out of every 4 points instead of 1 out of every 2, and still be able to go. We actually lost a late game day, which was, and we played a great, well-connected Spanish-style beach team that just were stingy. We played a bit too loose in the morning, and we lost. And anyways, that's getting off topic now. But yeah, I think each scenario is different. But it is still always like there's still always a direction and a drive towards winning something.
Well, yeah, I mean, every team that I've put together, that is still part of what we are about. We want to win. We always want to win. I think the point that I want to underscore is it's not the most important thing.
Are you looking for an ultimate specific training program? Try Brian Nevison's Ultimate Mobility Membership. He offers ultimate specific training, customized feedback on your form, weekly live check-ins, full in-season, preseason, and off-season programs, and you can help support the pod by using our referral link in the description below.
Where should we go, though?
Well, I guess we should go to our trip. Should we talk about our trip?
Okay.
I mean, I guess we'll talk about our trip. I mean, you came to Portimao. We talked a bit about that. Mikey was there for my birthday. 2 mega parties at the end. I went to only one. You went to back-to-backs.
I was up past 5 or 6 a.m. both nights, and that's a no-no for me.
So we talked about how good Lanzarote is as a venue, but like that party venue is second to none or very few as well. Like the top of the cliff, the back of like 5 bars connected, so you can kind of go in.
Wait, are we Portimao?
Yeah, Portimao. The back of like 4 or 5 bars connected, so you can go in like different team here, different music, different team here, different music. Everybody goes out of the patio, and there's kind of a smokers area and a chit chat area. It was really good parties, so it was a good tail end. We spent 1 extra day in Portimao after that to kind of not travel on a hangover day.
Recover a little bit.
You, me, and Liam Grant and Kalakovic was still around.
I spent the morning with Ellie and Benson and Levka.
Yeah.
Before sleeping. We were texted about. I said I'll be right over.
Yeah, we for Irish dinner and
3 hour and a half.
Yeah, we had a table for 4 with an empty seat. It never got filled. And then we got on a bus to go to Seville. There's a young Italian girl sitting next to me that I had many questions for. She was a hiker. She just came off the Camino, and I was like, I hate hiking and whatever. She's like, she could handle it, but then, like, I was also like, got her contacts, and I was like, yeah, maybe we'll meet up tonight. But there's a moment we got off the bus, and I had like my suitcase like with the roll up and wheels, and she was disgusted. She's like, "That's your bag," and I was like, "Yeah."
I just hiked for 400 miles.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I rolled my luggage. Anyways, but we had a pretty awesome day in Seville.
Lots of exploring.
We went out with Bjorn
and Duncan
and
Sando.
So a bunch of Yanks that were there, taken in WBUC, who also had they had a half day in Seville before they went to Cordoba. We had a great meal. Seville, great Lebanese style tapas, multiple hummuses and falafels and stewed chicken and sausage. It was great. And bought a bunch of bottles of cold red wine. And then I found like one of the best gelato places I've been to in a long time.
It was nice.
So I was tooting my horn with the guys like, I know gelato, this and that.
Do you
And
know
like,
what it's called?
it was called Mito in Seville, Mito. Very good. Puts at decanter, good service temperature. Not made on site, but they say it's not made far. So I believe them because it came out really well. And great servers who really work the gelato and kind of drop it on.
Check out our first episode with Pazza if you want to hear more about his
gelato history.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that, and then we went and met this girl, Francesca, who I met on the bus. She had found it was a really awesome experience. That was a flamenco guitar player and like the tap dancer,
which I guess is flamenco, right?
Yeah, flamenco. Like he was the percussion, but just dancing like flamenco dancing. We all walked into this big room, sat down. The guitar player's like, no pictures, no phones, no talking, even in between songs. Like, so it was like, okay, well, we took it kind of serious. It was really fun. There's a bunch of other frisbee people there, a bunch of the German girls.
By coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence. A couple of the Australians. Oh, our light just died, son of a. But I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Light.
I'm going to turn the other one on. Just. Dun, dun, dun. There, maybe that'll help.
Slightly.
But yeah, and so anyways, this girl was out, and she had one of her hiker friends from the Camino Trail, and we had a tough time all getting along. I think that's how it can end.
He was what's the appropriate word?
Yeah, the one we were using is probably not appropriate. The one that we were using, but you could imagine the word we were thinking of if it was inappropriate to be using right now. So we went out for dinner. Mikey was in a lucid state and having a difficult social time interacting with him and everybody for a little while. So we were like, all right, let's have one last meal. Mikey had to share a beef cheek with the guy that we didn't like, and that weighed on him. And we got home and had a good old laugh. And the next morning, jumped on a plane that was, when I bought it, it was a €12 flight.
Is that right?
To get from Seville to Lanzarote, 2.5 hour flight.
Gosh, we could have just bought the whole plane with that price.
It was wild. And then so we got to Lanzarote. We were there 2 days in advance of the tournament. We went to Playa Blanca. We met up with Martina Kometsova. Liam Grant was with us still, so we were a 4-pack.
Who is maybe the funniest person I've ever met.
Yeah, Liam Grant is all time. Great. Yeah, Liam, just everything he says is funny. I have so much time for Liam Grant.
The buttery biscuit.
The buttery biscuit, a great commentator, a very good player still, a great TD, but really just fucking hilarious. I try and hold back on swearing, but Liam deserves that as an adjective because he's top shelf hilarious. We went and visited a volcano, kind of. A volcano museum and a volcano national park entrance.
Martina was very interested. We obliged.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, whatever. Where are we going to have lunch? We went to a nice marina for lunch. Anyways, all said, 2 relaxing days on the beaches, and then all hell broke loose is really how it goes down. I think I recruited a team that I thought was like unstoppable. We lost in quarters, but like the talent and like fun level on the team.
If we had Box.
Yeah, we lost Box like 3 days before the tournament, 4 days before the tournament.
What, like the day before, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe a day before the tournament. Box couldn't make it for legitimate reasons. That hurt, of course, but it shouldn't have hurt. It shouldn't have been the undoing of it. It's like, you run down our roster. Now, I hope I don't forget anybody here. I'm almost going to open the group chat just so I don't. Because we were deep. We were 22 deep. We would have been 23. I guess we had a box replacement. No, but we had a Harper Garvey replacement. We didn't have a box replacement. So Harper was out from Nationals. That's not it. Why am I adding players? I just want to see all. Here we go. So we had Molika Anderson, Patricia Anderson, coaching staff and support. Elliot Bonet, Jorge Buja, 2 World Gamers. Box was out. Dozer, Fury, player, USA rep. Walker Frankenberg just won a championship with Revolver. Harper was out. We missed him. He was supposed to come join us still, but had to get back for some pre-ops. Liam Grant, we had recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. Kayla Helton, Simon Higgins, all-time Revolver legend. Martina Kametsova, Slovak super teamer. Carmen Lagala, Offensive Player of the Year, the Italian super teamer. Aurora Leshnik, Slovenian legend, group championship last year and super teamer. Megan Liu has been doing it on the beach and for Team USA and for Fury for years and years. It was part of multiple USA teams. Mikey Love, right next to me, will sing his praises for all he does, but you know what he does on his pod. Connor McHale, Clapham, and GB and Super Team. Noah Brinkworth is there, but he was on our broadcast team. Arvids Karklinch, the Latvian giant. Benji Reese, one of the commentating crew. Scazietti, the Italian Fury legend, and Christina Tlusta. So the team was dripping in talent, but we got there and made sure like guys were here to party, and it started from the get-go. Our first dinner together, India Aroma. I made a booking error. I set a table for 6 instead of 16. I got my languages wrong, and we were actually 18 that night anyways, and
It worked out.
yeah, it worked out. But anyways, this tournament is 3 days, 4 parties, heavy parties, a weird culture of honey rum that I'll let Mike talk about because I know about it, and I know for first time people kind of work it out. It's like what the hell?
Called Ron Meal.
Ron Miel.
Okay. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
Ron
Meal.
Miel. Yeah, Ron Miel. You got it. Well, tell us about the honey rum?
What's to know? It's honey rum. I guess you're not allowed to pour it into your own mouth. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the way we were consuming it, is that how Ultimate?
Everybody at Ultimate. I believe a lot of the people in Lanzarote do it.
Typically, you form a line on your one kneeling down, a line, which is sort of the running joke of the weekend. And then someone just goes down successfully and pours it into your mouth. And Elliot was very heavy-handed with his pours.
Yeah. I mean, we started early and we kept it often. There was no consumption moment higher than after we got ousted in the quarters. I think somebody said 8, but my count was 11 bottles went down between losing and arriving at the bar.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
For real?
For real.
Bro.
It was out of control. It was absolutely out of control. It rendered Elliot Bonet unable to make it to the party. Liam Grant had to take a long nap and showed up at like
I cut myself
2:30 in the morning.
After the beach until like 11 at night.
Yeah, Megan Liu got food poisoning that night. That kept her out, but I'm sure some of the honey rum may have
didn't help.
Okay, yeah, didn't help any. But we were a band of assholes at that time. We weren't being mean assholes, but we were just like everyone was blotto. I want to know, Mikey, like your impression of CFC. Like you've now done a bunch of European tournaments. You're a European champion with the Mooncatchers. You've been to London Invite, like a pretty high-end elite, take things serious tournaments. CFC, like it's elite. When you look at the players there, like you look at the makeup of the top 8 teams, like it's elite, right?
Yeah.
But like, what is your general impression of CFC?
So I'll start with the team itself, and props to you for like building the harmonizer of everything. The group chat was deadly silent leading up to the tournament, and it was worrying me. I was like, is this going to be fun? like, are people actually gonna bond with each other? And I just wasn't really understanding why it was so quiet. We tried to like instigate it a little bit, but no, like nobody, no, like then I would get like a DM on the side in response to something like, "What's happening?" But by the end of the weekend, it's just like now I'm like the only one that doesn't post, and I just wake up to 20 unread messages or videos of someone doing something heinous. So from the standpoint of like the weekend just within the team, it was so fun. Like we had party uniforms every night. We had just great bonding. I think like everything was set up really well for us to succeed that way. So like one of the best experiences, and I've had so many good experiences over the years, but one of the best in terms of just like meeting people and having like deep connections built in such a short amount of time. The tournament itself, very cool in like it felt very familial. Like it felt like I was going into a mom and pop store, corner store, instead of Walmart or something.
Mm.
Like there, I fell in love with the PA announcer just like because she would always start the round and
Time is
yeah,
running.
it's mojito time. I'll play those sound bites maybe in this episode. But also like it is a heavy drinking consumption tournament, and I'm saying that in a positive way. There are a bunch of kids and families. Yes, those sentences back to back, like probably especially for the American listeners, is a little odd, but it was really cool. The local org is it Movie Disc?
Yep, movie disc.
And so a lot of the kids are out there enjoying, like meeting like elite players, helping out with the tournament organization, literally making mojitos, which again in America maybe not gonna fly, but it's sick. Like because everybody it feels like a family feast.
It really is.
Like the entire tournament feels that way. And it's not like I come from the States where I talk about this a lot, where things now feel very sterile. It's amazing in the States, but tournaments like this don't really exist anymore because of how serious we take things, because of our culture, and because of things like the Triple Crown Tour, where like you don't really have time, and the UFA or PUL or WL, like it's just all business all the time. And this was a very good reminder about like what frisbee is about, going back to the skateboard culture, skateboard video, the counterculture aspect of things, and like why that's so meaningful and important to like probably why I fell in love with the sport 25 years ago.
Enjoying the pod?
Buy us a cup of coffee at ko-fi.com/podpractice.
It's I'd love the likening to a mom and pop shop. They take that very serious. Like everything they want to do is about their next generation. They want the kids playing. They have the kids game in between. It is very generational. All those kids are kids of frisbee couples and frisbee, moms and dad, mom or dad, in some senses. But they definitely give back. But yeah, I fell in love with it immediately when I went there. Like I will probably go there every year, and I think everybody should have CFC in there. It's the perfect timing for like, okay, PAUK this year, but like usually it's like after everything is done for continental Europeans, for continental North Americans now, like you get off of the mainland, you get away from the cold, you go to the Canary Islands, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, just off the Moroccan coast, like this volcanic sand that's so soft. This like you talk about all the unique things, like the stuff that was left behind with old school ultimate. That old school ultimate was built upon this kind of like party culture, and it's fine that it's evolved and developed, but you don't like to see these tournaments disappearing and like dropping off the face of the earth. And this is like one that is like thriving right now. Like this year, especially with WBUC, like the amount of teams with really good American players who stuck around to bolster, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 different other teams with like between 2 and 5 Americans on them, that like it just like brought everything up a competition level. But you know, like I loved bonding with my team the most, but I had so many like big chats with like other players and other teams, and like 2 teams like being in the same restaurant at the same time or being at the same bar, like just hanging out on the same sideline. And like, you know, like you get to catch up with everyone. Like Jack Hatchett and I've never spent as much time like in London Invite. He was on my team, on the Tokai Super Team, and I had a bunch of time with him, but less. I was busier, and like I felt like I got to like hang with Jack so much in this tournament. Angela, like, it's just there's nothing like it. Is really what it comes down to. Like there's no tournament left on the planet that's like this good of a location, this welcoming and embracing of an organization, and this elite of level of a competition that's like, yeah, if you haven't gone to CFC, it has to be on your. Are you coming back next year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I suspect everyone on our team will want to be coming back next year. Like I think the Americans will be right back into jumping in. We'll see if we let Box come back. No, Box will definitely be invited again, and we'll hope Harper will be back. But yeah, CFC it was awesome. Sexy banana. What's the sexy banana about?
Sexy banana.
Huh? Did I miss sexy banana?
There's like one of the restaurants that we ate at that had just a really odd server, and for some reason
I must have missed that. Sexy banana. I missed sexy banana. But then, yeah, man, like we can't give away everything about CFC, but like Osquito, the dance,
I'll clip in a video of that
the late
too.
mosh pit, like even when you think it's over and there's no more fun to be had, it just starts again. And I'll leave it at that, kind of, because you can't spill all the beans, but people need a taste of what it's all about to realize that they should go to Lanzarote, to CFC.
I guess I won't be clipping in a bunch of things because I'm going to try to release this one right away, but I will play this little soundbite.
Do you know what time is it? It's mojito time. Mojito time.
This was like that would start at
Time is over.
that would start at noon every day, and then in between every round, you'd be reminded again that it was mojito time. So between the mojitos and the honey rum, an absolute humdinger. And then I pretty much like put Mikey in a headlock and said, "You're coming back to Nice now." I didn't put him in a headlock. We had prearranged this, and you're more than happy to be here, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you've had a hell of a year this year. Like this is almost like a sixth of your year has been in Europe now. So
I want to move here.
It started with you should definitely move here, Mikey. It started with London Invite. You stuck around for a little while longer after London. Where'd you go after London Invite?
I went to Madrid for a week with Ellie.
Yeah. And then stayed. Oh no, that's not. Then you came back for under 24s.
No, that was the same. I had to stay in Spain.
Yes.
So I could go. I had to do something in between the week between London Invite and U24. So I did that. And it's funny. I actually bought a pair of pants there. That my one of my best friends and co-coaches, Joe Durst, loves, and he's trying to order a pair now. And he sent me a text last night. He's like, the tariffs here, like the tariffs to ship them are too much. Like, can you get them for me? So he's actually ordering a pair. He's having them delivered to Floor's place. And when I go to Amsterdam after this, I'm going to pick them up for her so I can bring them back.
Wild. So, okay, quick recap then. Madrid, Logroño. You coached the Czech team, which kind of happened because Christina Tlusta was like, please be our coach. So I know you've talked about this on one of your episodes before, but in recap. So we got Mikey for like a 1 week trip that turned into like a 3 week trip or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. I loved it because I was in Logroño too, and on Mikey's downtimes, we got to spend a lot of time. You hung out with the Ulti World crew down there, which was super cool. You went back to America. I went to Denver, so it was cool. I got to go over that side and see Mikey there. Like we've had like 5 tournaments or 6 tournaments together now this year, which is nuts. If you include U.S. Nationals and U.S. Open, London Invite,
actually.
Logroño. Well, we could count WBUC and CFC. So like 6 tournaments we've had for our bromance. So you went home, and then PA was one of your co-coaches at London Invite.
And because of London, I also stopped in Brussels before London and went and ran a mooncatchers practice there. So my relationship with PA started through you, and then I was able to coach or collaborate with him even before London with Moon.
And so then they said, "Hey, why don't you just be a coach? Why don't you be one of our coaches?" Mikey, I guess for after you did the one session on the ground, then you became kind of a remote coach and showed up for the finals, EUCF.
Yep.
Mikey's a European champion now.
Yeah, one of the more meaningful experiences. Honestly, like this is what we talked about at the end of our weekend at CFC, that I have Pazzo to thank for. I've had many very meaningful experiences in frisbee, but getting the chance to coach at U24s with the Czech team, and meeting a bunch of young, hungry, amazing players that don't have access to many things was very meaningful to me. And then my experience and my now continuing experience with the Mooncatchers, and getting to coach players like Arvids, like fucking Don DeMarais, the Yonkers. There's so many amazing
up and comers. That's a
keep
wildly talented
keep your eye
team.
on Jerome, by the way.
De Ritter, Betrancourt keeps getting better every day. God, there's so many. We could list off that whole roster almost. Barsazi, so much talent.
I'd have to mention Gael just because I feel like he and I are mind meld in terms of the way we think about a lot of things.
So you get yourself casual European championship.
No big deal.
Then you screw off back home, and then you get to finish the season with this kind of mega party with. Again, the party was great. Coming 5th was not what we wanted, but like I walked away with this so happy. Like people, like I joke on my own podcast, like if I don't win it this year, I'm never coming back again. And a couple of people probably, so you're gonna come back? Of course I'm coming back next year. Like I had maybe more fun this year than I did last year, and definitely than the year before. Like bonding and making these connections, and it is like I pick teams based on like admiration a lot of the time. Like I think this person's so awesome. Like, do I have an in with them? How do I get my in with them? Like when Kayla Helton said she was going to join this team, I was like,
me too.
I was like, oh my God, we got Kayla Helton on this team. And Kayla Helton is a human being, a lovely human being who's very happy to have a chat. And, I probably had her up higher on a pedestal, and I don't mean to take her down from it because she deserves to be up, but like just speaking to her normally, it's like, okay, you're still that human on the pedestal, but she's just like super cool chick, like up for a party, up for a chat, up for a dance,
chill, very thoughtful.
And that's like just one example of like the 21 or 20 others, excluding myself, interactions that I got to have. I took so much from like Dozer was like, for me, maybe an X factor coming in. Like she came in as like Ire, was like, can Shayla Harris play? Like based on playing status, absolutely. We're going to take Shayla Harris. Does she fit this party vibe, this party meld we're trying to get? I don't know, but I'm willing to take the stab at it.
She will happily admit that she's not a partier.
No, but she was one of the most entertaining people. She came to every party and she did her best, and she said, I will do everything I can to meet the party criteria, because I spelled out the party criteria. And she was just such a trooper as a partier, like and just a wonderful mind.
I
Like,
might have spoken to her for 20 hours.
yeah, yeah. You two were like joined at the hip, really.
We talked, but only from like the hours of 2
midnight
a.m.
or whatever.
midnight to 6 a.m.
Yeah. So those are two such examples, but a wild finish to the year, and I guess a wild recap of what our year was, Mikey.
Of our year.
Yeah.
The bromance.
Yeah, Mikey Love. And that is, feel free to drop a Mikey Love.
Thumbnail.
And then it shows that we got matching fingernails too now. Fingernails for thumbnails. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on, Mikey. Always happy to record with you. Always happy to hang with you. I'm going to go show Mikey around Nice now. He's not really seen it. It's been raining, and he spent his first day kind of hunkered down, and I kind of played catch up here. And now we're going to go get into Old Nice, and I'll probably take him to a smash burger place to kick things off.
Excellent. Okay.
Awesome.
I guess that's it. Hopefully, that was probably all over the place.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's what we do here.
Yeah. Peace out, pod practice crew.
How do you say kisses?
Bisous.
Bisous.